Hey, this is America. We don't speak that S here, and can somebody please show him a photo of the full American continent? But you're saying your name all wrong. Tip, try saying it slower while pronouncing the letters that are actually there, and whatever, dude. Did he just speak Mexican and... That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera. This is Pocket Now, and this is our Pocket Now Daily Recap for last week. So on Monday I asked you, what do you think the final name for Android L should be, as the rumors are that it's going to be called Lemon Meringue Pie, if I have that pronunciation right. We have a staggering 2,162 comments. That is a record. Thank you very much, guys. Out of which one of them says, if the next version of Android is named Lemon Meringue Pie, then people will definitely end up calling it Android L only, and you're completely right. There are certain names that are just so ridiculous, people would rather not pronounce. Then Hush Hype says Licorice for Android Licorice. This sounds catchy, and yeah, why not? And then Tech Punch says, call it Android Lollipop, and yeah, whatever, dude. I still feel that Android L is fine. Let's call L.1 whenever there's an update or whatever, but L is fine. There's no need to give it a pastry name. My opinion, obviously. Then on Tuesday, I asked you to choose between the haptic feedback on the display that Microsoft is testing on Microsoft Research, or the new patent that Apple has with this flexible display technology that actually creates a sort of a keyboard mimicked through glass on the display for you to actually feel something. This is already done by a keyboard replacement cover called Tactus in the market right now, and we have 349 comments, out of which Ankit says, if this technology is already in the market, how the heck can they get the patent for the same technology? And you do have a good point there, but this is a patent for a display for a tablet, and a tablet brings this technology, not necessarily a cover. So there is a little bit of give there. Then Gaberon says, a screen that turns into a keyboard. Not in our lifetime. They can't figure out battery life. What are the odds of them building a transformer phone? And you have a solid point there. Probably the best comment of the week. Yeah, there are some imposing issues right now that have not been fixed for years, like battery life. So you never know. I mean, why wouldn't they fix that first? Though this would be a cool idea if it would happen, don't you think? Then another commenter says, which one is better all depends on the implementation. Somehow I doubt that Apple can pull a flexible display off without sacrificing screen clarity, and you're saying that because of the LG G Flex. Yes, definitely has a terrible display. But you never know. Display technology has evolved a lot over the last couple of years. If you think about it, 3-4 years ago we were using WVGA, now we're using 2K. So hey, you never know. The same thing with Sapphire. Then on Wednesday, I asked you if you're getting either of the iPhone 6 models or the iWatch, as the rumors are that Apple is going to be launching everything on its event on September 9th. We have 858 comments, out of which one of them says, I'm sure switching to the 4.7-inch iPhone 6, as my iPhone 5 is kind of old now. And yes, if you're rocking an iPhone 5, iPhone 4S, and definitely the iPhone 4, this is the time to upgrade. If you're using an iPhone 5S, it'll all depend on what gets announced, so stay tuned for that. And Captain Oshra says, I'll keep telling myself I won't get an iPhone 6. I'll keep telling myself I'm saving this money to fix my car. I'll keep telling myself my current phone is fine. Everything is fine, and I have the impression that you are not going to fix your car anytime soon. Then Felix says 4.7 inches, nothing else. Find 5.5 inch too big and don't want to drop my mechanical watches, so yes, you're not getting an iWatch. And you know, it's very interesting, out of all the 800 comments, very few people wanted the phablet. And yes, I am a big fan of phablets, but it seems that not everybody is here. Then on Thursday, I asked you if you would buy the Samsung Gear S, as Samsung had just announced its new Gear smartwatch that's also a phone. It's got a full keyboard and everything. You don't really need a phone, though you can operate it with a phone if you want to. We have 566 comments, out of which Jeff S says, Gear S will be good for times when you're traveling and don't want your phone stolen. You have a solid point there. I live in a country where theft is very common, and yes, this would be awesome, though, you know, I do believe the burglar would not leave with just my phone. If he sees the watch, he's gonna want that too. Then Manasom says, Samsung Gear S seems to be the future when smartphones are getting bigger and bigger. I definitely want to have one, and you know, you have a solid point there. Smartphones are getting bigger and cumbersome, though I do believe that there will be a point where there will be a line drawn between a phone and a tablet. Hopefully someday. I don't know. Not the way things are going. True, you have a point, but then again, I don't know. You're not forced to buy a big phone either. The Nitin says me buying it would depend on how they price it. You have a good point there. We're still not sure what the price is going to be for the Gear S, but what I will tell you is that I would not pay $500 for a smartwatch, especially not one this big, especially not one with bad battery life. And finally, on Friday, I asked you if you would wait for the iWatch until 2015, as the rumors are that even though Apple might announce the iWatch with the iPhones on September 9th, apparently the company is not ready to launch it until 2015, and this is not the first time this happens. When the first generation iPhone was announced, Apple took 6 months to launch it, so it could be the case. We have 482 comments, out of which Aynan says it's Apple, who wouldn't, and I could give you a good example of a very big amount of people that wouldn't, but then again, sure, you do have a point. And Eric Enright says, I'll wait for the iWatch because all my tech is Apple now, and it just makes sense to keep it that way, and yes, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, this makes all the sense in the world. And the reason why is because there is no value for you to buy a Sony tablet and a Sony phone, and that's really disappointing. When it comes to Apple, hey, everything works together. You buy an iMac, you buy a phone, an iPhone, and they actually talk to each other. And these are really cool features that make owning Apple products of value, and probably that's the reason for the Apple tax as well. So yeah, it does make sense for you to keep yourself within the ecosystem, because I am more than likely sure that that iWatch is not going to work with any other phone that's not the iPhone. And finally, Kim Kardashian, lovely name, says, I will not wait for the iWatch. I'm getting the Moto 360. I'm excited for the first watch that brings LG G Watch R build quality Android Wear and the ability to replace my phone entirely. I'm also excited for that, but the technology is not there. The Moto 360 is out today, and the first impressions from everyone are that the battery life is terrible. And yes, it does make a point. I mean, think about it. If you have to be charging your watch every day, even more so than you do your phone or your tablet, then it completely defeats the purpose of this being a wearable product. So, you know, smartwatches are really not taking off because of that, and that's mainly the reason why a lot of people are actually waiting for the iWatch, because Apple has more than likely, figured out certain markets like the iPod, for example, at its time, the iPhone as well. These were solutions to products that already existed, but that other companies didn't figure out, so that's the reason why they're waiting for the iWatch, and let's see what they bring in the end. That's it for our Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of tips if you want your comments to be featured. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week.